Here we go. Brilliant. Let's just, it says we're live. Good evening, ladies, and welcome to a very impromptu Sunday evening Facebook Live. But it's quite a good idea to do this on a Sunday, actually, getting you ready for the week, because Mondays, as much as I don't subscribe to the days of the week, Monday is a day that you do feel more motivated about your diet. We can ignore Fridays and Saturday and Sundays, but Mondays we can use for motivation and rocket fuel and weight loss and exercise, can't we? It always works. And I'm joined by the lovely Sheila Lord this evening, who we have met before, and she's been in the group for a while, but I wanted to go into a little bit more detail about her business, because since Sheila and I first started talking, I have actually been up to one of her retreats, and they're really good. And as you know, I don't recommend a lot of things in this group, because what I like to do is I like to know the people that I'm recommending, have a look at their products, see what they're doing. And Sheila and Anne have been very gracious in letting me do that. So I'm totally behind what they're doing. But so Sheila, how are you?
I'm very good. Very, very good. Thank you.
Brilliant.
Yes. Brilliant.
How far in are you in your alcohol-free journey now?
Over 8 months now. Over
Woo!
8 months. 1st of September was the last time. Well, the 31st of August was the last time I had a drink. The 1st of September was the day it just finally clicked, and I'd just had enough. And
Brilliant.
I'd had enough of giving up. I'd had enough of just feeling like rubbish. I was done. Absolutely done.
Fantastic. 8 months is a really good chunk of time, isn't it?
Yeah. And it's really funny now, because the reason I used to drink and the buzz I used to look for out of the glass of wine or the bottle, because I couldn't find it in a glass.
Did you have a good time looking though?
Oh yeah, I used to think I did. But it's that buzz that I used to chase, that hit of, I used to call it like a hug in a wine glass, just like being enveloped by that dopey feeling. It's the one feeling that I absolutely dread ever experiencing again. And it's bizarre that I flicked from the high or the buzz I used to chase to being the buzz I run away from now, and that I completely avoid. I don't understand the psychology of how that's really flicked in my brain. And I think people who know me just think, what's happened to her?
Brilliant. I think there's something about you really get used to how good you feel and knowing how you're going to feel the next day. And there's something about, I don't like using the word control because people think that's quite negative, but there is something about control, because I used to drink and take drugs, as you know, and used to love getting wasted and high. And now actually I can't think of anything more awful for exactly the same reason. I'm just like, I really like knowing where my head is at. And that's really nice.
Yeah, it's that thought of something taking over the way I think and the way I behave. Whereas before I used to welcome it, I used to go looking for it. And now it's like, whoa, this is me now. And I think as well, once you stop drinking, you can really find out who you are and decide whether or not you really like yourself. And if you find that there's bits of you that you don't like, you just change them, because you're in control. And you're in control. And it's really simple stuff that while you've got a glass of wine in your hand or a bottle of beer or whatever your poison is, you just don't get those thoughts. You don't get that clarity of mind. And once you take the booze away, it comes at you the simplest stuff in leaps and bounds.
Yeah, and that's exactly what happens, isn't it? Sort of the longer you do alcohol free, the more you get to know yourself. And like you say, the bits you don't like, you're like, okay, I need to go and do a piece of work on that. And actually that feels really good. Yeah.
I did a bit of work with you on the letting go of the anger.
Always good to let go of the anger.
Sometimes it's tempting to keep hold of it, but no, you get that mental headspace where you can actually just start to move forward and stop getting in that vicious cycle of taking a drink because you're angry, you're blaming the world, you're blaming everything else, you're not taking responsibility, and it's just everything's everybody else's fault, and the only thing that makes you feel better is that crappy glass of wine. And once you break that cycle, there's a whole brand new world out there waiting for you with sleep in it. With sleep.
I know.
Like solid sleep. That's the best thing about giving up drinking. The absolute best thing is the amount of sleep I get and the quality of my sleep. That's probably the single best thing, because that's the thing that I suffered with the most. Besides the anxiety and all the other crap that goes with it.
Yeah. Well, you look really well on it. It suits you. So yeah.
Thank you. And so many people have complimented that as well, actually, when they haven't seen me for a while. Oh, wow, you look really good. What have you been doing? Not drinking.
Yeah, there's something in the skin and the eyes, isn't it? I love it when I do a coaching day or I do a retreat, and like whether there are, I mean, sometimes some ladies turn up to my retreats and they've literally stopped drinking that day, which I wouldn't advise. That's not what it's for. But most people have done some alcohol-free time, even if they've done a week or a couple of weeks. There's a lot of shiny skin and shiny eyes in the room. It's great.
Absolutely. It is. It's just amazing. It really, really is. I was grey. I was literally grey. I literally started to look more and more like a corpse every day, just a living and breathing one. Wasn't pleasant.
Good. So what do you think your biggest learning has been in the last 8 months then?
That I'm okay, actually, and that actually I am a nice, likeable person. I think I've learned it's okay for me not to be perfect. And I've learned that nobody else is perfect. And I think that's it. I think it's just okay to be who you are and to have your struggles and to have your challenges, because everybody else has them. Doesn't matter what you see or what you think you see, everybody else is on the surface. Underneath, we are all human beings with anxiety, with stress, with depression, with happiness. We've all got the same range of emotions. They're not unique just to us. And I think for me, it's just, now I don't have the booze, I can understand, I can accept that I'm not the only one who's got problems. Everybody else has got problems. It's okay not to be okay all the time. And that's probably my biggest learning curve. My biggest learning curve is just to not, I mean, I'll always be a bit of a stress head. That's just my kind of, I'm very nervous energy and I'm like, but it doesn't have to be so demanding and so draining all the time. I can just take it easy and just not just let life overwhelm so much.
Yeah, I think that's really key, isn't it? And there's loads of research on this. So like everybody has self-doubt and limiting beliefs. And we can do work on that. But like you say, we're never going to be perfect, and we're always a work in progress. It's sort of working on that stuff, but also it's not letting that stop you. So quite often people say to me, oh, it's all right for you, you're really confident. And I'm like, yeah, well, I wasn't always like this, and I've done a lot of work on myself. And that doesn't mean I'm not sitting there for 30 minutes before I go on stage, or I'm running an event or something going, what am I doing? Who's going to listen to me?
Absolutely. And you realise that everybody's got those fears, I very much lived, when I was drinking, my world was very small. So my world was this big because, one, I couldn't get in the car and physically visit other places because my drinking habits would keep me locked in a certain routine and timetable and geographical location, and everything I did in my life was engineered about where I'm going to get my next drink. And it's really funny because now I'm not drinking. I'd like, oh my god, I'd have snuck a glass of wine in there, I'd have got a bottle in there, and I could calculate that. Where I used to think I drank maybe a bottle of wine or a bottle and a half, I'd probably drop 4 bottles of wine on some days. The world's just a different place for me now. Totally different place. Unbelievable.
And so, okay, tell us a little bit about your business, because I love the backstory behind your business, like how you started doing what you're doing. So ladies, why this is really important, this video, is I know there's lots of women in here. So like when you stop drinking, sometimes for some people it creates space. Like for some people you stop drinking and life's great and off you go. And some people you stop drinking and there's this space and you think, oh my God, what am I going to do with it? And people create businesses or create projects or have like little side projects. So this is also one of the reasons why I wanted to get you in, because that's essentially what you've done, haven't it? You've sort of developed this business out of how your journey started, really.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, a couple of years ago, April, a couple of years ago, I was on a hamster wheel. So I had a pretty good job. I was a director in a company, done the same job for 25, 30 years. I've worked my way up from office junior to director level. But I was working far away. I have a 7-year-old or 8-year-old on Monday, tomorrow. I'll be back all weekend, but that's another story. So yeah, I had an 8-year-old. I had a 150-mile, 4-hour round trip to and from the office, and I was just burning out, stressed out, burning out. Alcohol became less of a weekend kind of blowout and more of a day-to-day creeping up, bottle of wine every night, bottle and a half, arguments, not sleeping, all that stuff we see going, all the ladies are talking about in the group all the time. So I decided to do something healthy, and a friend's Facebook feed popped up on my timeline thing about a fitness boot camp that she'd been on. She'd gone for 2 weeks, crazy lady. Yeah, I could do 2 weeks. I just thought I could do a week. So I kind of sent her a quick message on Facebook, said, what's this all about? She gave me the details. And before I had time to think about it, booked myself on for a week, off I trotted. And while I was there, I met some really nice ladies, worked out a lot, a really lot. Had very little food. I was blooming starving most of the time I was there. But what I found was that one of the biggest things that happened while I was there is that there was no alcohol. And for 7 days, I didn't touch a drop. I ate the right foods. I exercised. I slept. I was alcohol free. I had no other stress in my life. I was in this little bubble where that's all I did. Eat, sleep, exercise, repeat, and drink water. And when I left, I felt fantastic. Felt really, really good. Came away. That was in the April. In May, June, July, August, September. No, 4 months later in August, I woke up one day because within 4 weeks I'd gone back to all my old habits. I hadn't changed a thing. And then 4 months later, I just woke up one day and said, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not going back to work today, tomorrow, or any other day. And I just left. I had a mini meltdown and thought, what have I done? After I'd sent the email to my boss, I'm not coming back to work. And then I was like, oh my God. So I thought, what can I do? And I was having a bit of a spin out, drinking, stressing out, driving Anne up the wall. And I decided to go back to boot camp, to my safe place. And it was when I was there, I was chatting away to my roommate because I didn't have a clue what I wanted to do next. And as I was chatting away to her, and I was like, oh, well, do you know, if I was running this place, I'd definitely serve more food. I'd definitely do more work on mindset, because what tools have we got when we go away to, I've been here before and I just went right back to my old ways and I'm yap. I don't know what to do for a job. She said to me, why don't you think about starting your own boot camp? And I was like, that's genius. That's a genius idea. So literally on the way home, my business partner, Anne, obviously you've met Anne, but for the ladies that are watching that haven't met Anne, obviously, she's not in a group, she can control her drinking. She's a regular drinker. But basically, Anne taught or teaches growth mindset. So it's all about fixed mindset and growth mindset, and how we view the world and how we take on board criticism and how we develop as human beings. And Anne teaches growth mindset to students in preparation for going into the big wide world for employability skills and all these other things. I just thought, you know what? It's through knowing Anne and all the work she used to tell me she did with students that I came to realise that I was very fixed in the way I viewed the world, a very fixed mindset in the way I approached my career and lots of other things in my life. And I just thought, actually, if we had that combined with all the exercise and everything else, and we educated people a lot more on keeping things simple, not being perfect, taking it one step at a time and aiming for progress over perfection, that would be a really good thing to do. So that's what we aimed to do. We didn't have a clue what we were doing. We just had a passion and an idea, and we did, and that was it. We set up,
brilliant.
With the laws of attraction and the universe sent us all the right people, all the right things at all the right time. Everything fell into place very, very quickly. And from having the idea in September, going on holiday to talk about it in October, we ran our first one-day reboot boot camp in November, followed by another one in January, and then we launched in April 12 months ago. So we've literally 12, we were 1 year old last month on the 5th of April. And it's just been fantastic. It's been absolutely awesome. It's grown and developed more than we ever thought possible. And you've been the kind of the vibe and the connections and the friendships and all the support that's formed there is amazing. And you know, the ladies that come back time and time again, they make really great friends. But they all take, I've not come across anybody yet that hasn't taken something positive away from it and who hasn't made a positive change. Doesn't matter how big or how small that change is. It don't have to be radical. But we had one lady came to see us in November, and she didn't really have massive amounts of confidence. She was a bit terrified of coming. And she came back last weekend, and she's lost 1 stone and 10 pounds.
Fantastic.
She's not dieting. She's not, making radical changes in her life. She's being more mindful of what she does. She's making different choices. She's walking her dog more. And in just those few small changes, she's learning to be happier in herself. And then she came back to us because she felt she was plateauing and she wanted some motivation and she wanted some support. She could recognise where she was triggering and that she needed to take personal responsibility and take some action. And she got herself back to us, and she's coming back again in July. And that's what we find a lot of the time, is that our ladies will keep coming back for the social aspect.
Yeah.
And I think actually, the lady I'm talking about at that particular time was there when you were there.
I was thinking, but that was when I went, was at the November one, and I was there nearly all weekend, Yeah.
Now, what's happened since you came to our retreats is that particular group of ladies, every time they come back, they sneak Bex Blue and Noseko into the retreat.
That's a job well done there.
And it's amazing because one lady brought her sister back, Kerry. I don't know if you remember Kerry, but she came back with her sister-in-law and her sister. And on the Friday, they said, we were talking about Noseko, we were talking about your talk at the retreat. And everyone was saying how fantastic it was and how they're all drinking Noseko. And Sarah said, oh, she went, that Noseko? She went, you gave that to me. It was blooming disgusting. I wouldn't drink that. You can't. And then on the Saturday, they were all drinking it. And then on the Monday, she sent us a picture of her shopping, and she's converted to Noseko and Bex Blue. So it's been amazing, people are just, and even Anne has also changed her drinking habits just from your talk, because all of a sudden that weekend your talk hit a chord with every single lady sat at that boot camp.
Yeah, it was amazing, wasn't it?
Yeah, unbelievable. The light bulb moments that went off in the room, and every single one. That was weird. I got a shiver up my spine for some weird reason.
Me too.
All tingling. But every single one of the people in that room changed their habits, and just became more mindful. They drink Bex Blue, they'll drink Noseko. They sneak it in and apologise. I remember Kerry saying to me, where do I put the bins in when we go on Sunday? I said, oh, don't worry about that. I'll sort that out for you. And she looked at me, she went, have a confession. I was like, what? She went, there's 3 bottles of Noseko. I was like, if it's Noseko, it's fine. It's no calories. No alcohol.
Yeah.
So,
It was so good, wasn't it? I mean, it was just, I mean, as you know, I love, so basically what happens, ladies, in the group is some people contact me and they want to talk about stuff they're doing. They want to collaborate, which I'm always happy to collaborate with. And Sheila, that's how this happened. Sheila contacted me, said, I love the group. I'm alcohol free. I'm loving it. I've got this, I'm running these retreats. I'd love to talk to you. So we had a chat and I said, oh, before I recommend stuff, I need to try stuff out. So she was like, come up. I was like, okay. So and actually that's the first, I mean, I used to be super fit, as you know, and I'm not. I mean, it's a basic level of fitness. I'm not unfit, but I'm not fit. So it's the first time I've ever done that type of retreat. So I mean, it was great to be invited for a talk, but to be there for the weekend, we had such a laugh. Nobody knew each other. The way you run it is just so lovely. It's very down to earth. Yes. Yeah. So this is the important bit to make here is this isn't like my retreats. This is very much a health, fitness, mindset retreat, which Sheila will exchange. So it is heavy on the fitness. Now, you don't need to be fit to do it. In fact, most of the ladies weren't. And the people who teach fitness there do lots and lots of different types of fitness, and they know what they're doing. But you are doing quite a bit of exercise, aren't you? And that's the whole point, is to sort of start that. But it was, I laughed a lot.
Yeah,
I laughed a lot.
Yeah, and that was a fantastic group as well. I mean, every group that we get is fantastic. I get so many people in the group saying, "Oh, I bet nobody gets on like we get on in this particular group." Yeah, sorry, it's my brother. He's come down to see my son because it's his birthday tomorrow, so he's just going in a minute. So yeah,
it's okay. We won't be much longer. So, ladies, so I wanted you to get to know Sheila a bit more and also hear the story behind her business and stuff about being alcohol free. We'll post the link anyway. And you can see her website, and they run these events regularly. So there's weekend events, week-long events. I'm going to be there on June the 8th and July the 6th to do a talk, which will be my usual alcohol and habits talk that I love giving, because you can't stop me talking about booze, as everybody knows. So if you want to go, I would love to meet you. And also Sheila does a little special offer for the ladies from the group, but I'll let her explain that a bit more.
So yeah, for anybody that books on via the group, we have a free sports massage that we throw in, because you generally need it on a Saturday night or a Sunday night. And we'll also put in there a 10% discount as well for people in the group as well. Wow. So we'll put both of those in there for you. So the weekends are all kind of fully inclusive. So when you turn up, all you have to do is bring yourself and 2 pairs of trainers, pretty much. And that's it. We take care of the rest for you. So we always generally have a guest speaker, in which this weekend is those 2 dates is Stephanie. And then we have Jake, our lovely Jake, who does a workshop on nutrition and good nutrition. Again, you can get a lot of personal one-to-one advice off Jake. He's absolutely fantastic. We have myself and Anne doing talks about mindset, time management, just setting some goals, and basically about just being kind to yourself. And then we have the lovely Tracy as well, who comes in and does talks about digestion and in food intolerances. So it's just everything that's just generally anything health and well-being related. And also to say that, you know, the location that we're based at is so peaceful. You could literally be in the middle of nowhere. It just is so away from everything, so peaceful. And, you know, we get a lot of people that say to us, just driving through the gate, you have that sense of just kind of leaving all the noise and the hustle and the bustle and the outside world away. And even though, you know, it's a Friday to a Monday, it doesn't feel like a long period of time when you're thinking about doing it. But once you actually get there, time sort of slows down and kind of, yeah, it just becomes a very peaceful, hard work, lots of fun. But it's just really a weekend where you can focus on yourself and just focus on you and your kind of your health and well-being. And especially, you know, we focus on the mind and the mental well-being as well as the physical. We just find that we put you through a lot of physical, not, you know, too much, but more than you know that you're capable of doing. That helps massively with the mindset, because it just goes to show you, whether you're telling yourself you can do something, whether you're telling yourself you can't, you're right. And we prove to you physically how much you can achieve if you just tell yourself the right thing and you've got that right amount of support around you.
Yeah, and it's just fun, isn't it? That's the thing. It's like whenever you go to these things, it can feel a bit daunting because you don't know people and you don't know what to expect. But what I would say, 100%, anybody that's thinking about going, Sheila and Anne are so lovely, so down to earth, and they're there to make sure that you have a great weekend. And all of the people that come in are brilliant as well. Jake's brilliant. You know, you just feel at ease, you know, very quickly as soon as you're there. So if you're worried about that, and also Sheila, you're really good at sort of, if people are concerned, you give people a call, don't you, and sort of talk to them about their concerns. Yeah,
no, absolutely. I mean, we had one lady who, again, I think you know her as well, but she booked onto the retreat. She won't mind me saying this, but she didn't kind of check out the small print, like the itinerary, and the fact that it was a boot camp as well as a retreat. And she called me a couple of days before and said, I've just got the itinerary through, and I thought I was coming to a spa, not a boot camp. Can I cancel? And I just said, no, you can't. You have to come. You have to trust me. You have to believe me when I say it'll be fine and we'll take care of you. And I think, you know, if I was to ask her, you know, what she thinks about that decision, I think I can confidently say she's pretty happy with the fact that she turned up and decided to stay. But she's made some lovely friends in the group. And I can't wait to see her back in July, so it wasn't that bad.
Yes. No.
Brilliant. So you'll be there when she's back in July as well, so that'll be nice. Excellent. So yeah, I just love it. It's such a beautiful community that we're growing there, and it's turned out to be more than we ever thought it would be in terms of a business. It's a family first and a community first and a business second, you know, and I'm just so blessed and so lucky that, you know, I've been able to start getting rid of the negative stuff, because as soon as I've started letting go of the bad stuff, the alcohol and everything else, there's just more and more space for the good stuff to start coming in, and it does. It really, really does. So it's just, it's been amazing, and I would encourage anybody to try it and step outside your comfort zone, because my journey to here started with a trip to a boot camp, and I'm proud to say that I've got other ladies, you know, Anne and I have met so many wonderful people, and we're so proud of the amazing changes that these ladies and men are making. You know, if you even want to come along with the husband or your partner, we do take couples as well. Well, men on their own as well. But yeah, we take male and females. That's important to mention as well, because again, I think with some of these things, it's that if you're struggling with things, be it exercise, diet, nutrition, drinking, if you've got a partner in crime or not doing crime, somebody you can do it together with, you know, there's a much more, it helps you to succeed better if there's two of you kind of invested in it. But equally, if not, and you're doing it on your own, you've got the support of 12 other like-minded people. And that's the other thing as well, we do keep the numbers very small.
Yeah.
So it's
not a big group, is it?
No, we want to keep that group dynamic, so there's that nice community feel, and everybody. It's just a nice number that we found works really, really well.
Yeah. And also, as a bonus, they do these amazing little chocolate things that I've never forgotten. So save me one. I'm coming up in June.
They're even better now. They've got salted caramel in them.
Oh my God, they're amazing. Thank you so much for your time this evening, Sheila.
Thank you.
I'll post the link, ladies. Please feel free to click the link, have a look, you know, sign up, have a chat with Sheila if you're interested. And if it's not your thing, I just hope you've got some inspiration from Sheila being alcohol free, but also inspiration from the fact that Sheila has created something out of the space of being alcohol free. So she's got this sort of healthy lifestyle business. So there's sort of a three-pronged attack that we were coming at this evening. So that's great. Thank you so much for your time, and I will see you soon.
I'll see you in a couple of weeks. Yes.
Thanks, Sheila.
Thanks, everybody. Bye. Bye.